We are backstage at Newport Folk for the last time. I am joined by Evan Stephens Hall from Pinegrove. Evan, thank you so much for making the time today. This is one that I've been really, really looking forward to.
Thank you, sir.
Now, amazing set, as I just sort of mentioned, but who are you looking forward to getting a chance to see if you can?
Well, I mean, truly, when you're playing festivals, it's not the best opportunity to catch other bands. There's all sorts of people to meet and photographs to take and people to talk to, but we got to catch a minute of Whitney, and Dr. Dog is playing right now. We can overhear them a little bit. So, it's and then Margaret Glaspie is another friend of ours, and we're fans. And unfortunately, our sets were totally concurrent, so we didn't get to catch each other. But we ran in and then said hey. So it's all good. It's a hang. There's basically, my point is there's no plan. It's just we do it. It's fluid. Yeah.
Sweet. And then we're doing I'm not doing it, a lot of very talented artists are doing a big tribute to protest songs. What's one of your favorite protest songs, if you can get up there and sing one?
Gosh, well, I mean, I have to say that This Land Is Your Land is great, especially the verse that's like, on one side it said no trespassing, on the other side, the sign didn't say nothing. This land is made for you and me.
That's awesome. Well, at a festival like this, it's a little bit of an older demographic. It's not one of the younger festivals, but you had a full packed place at the Harbor Stage. You had the entire place head nodding at one point, which I found hilarious. You don't usually see that here.
Wow, cool.
Is this a tougher festival to play since it's not the target demographic or sort of the normal fan base that you do attract?
Yeah. Well, I hear the question, but I think that we really have no target demographic. We make music for everybody, and it was a great opportunity to play for people who haven't heard us before. And it's a good challenge to try to do our thing to perhaps an older set, but I feel like we won them over by the end. So it was exciting for us.
You absolutely did.
Yeah.
Now, you guys hail from New Jersey, and I feel back as I asked this question to all the bands I talked to from New Jersey. New Jersey has such a distinct sound, I feel, like music that comes from New Jersey. And I hear it in you, I hear it in like Bleachers, the Front Bottoms, and go all the way back to Springsteen. What is it about New Jersey? Is it something in the water? Is it something sort of like the scene there? Why do sort of all the Jersey bands have like a distinct Jersey sound? They don't all sound the same per se, but like there's a flair there.
Thank you. That's a good question, because I think you're right that there is a certain lineage, like Bruce Springsteen, Front Bottoms, Pinegrove, and I can't claim to be that well listened to either of those two prior groups, but I certainly respect what they do. I think that there's like a kind of a narrative lyrical approach, like a hyper lyrical, very syllabic, lots of words, and I think you tend to find people on the East Coast are energetic, frenetic. There's something about the population density that maybe makes people react to living in a certain way. But we're far enough from New York where you get a little bit of perspective, and you need that perspective if you're gonna write well about your observations. So I don't know. That's my modest suggestion. It has something to do with the population.
That's the answer I like the most of all the ones that I've gotten. You kind of brought up songwriting there. One of the things that I like best about your songs is they sound like you wrote them quickly. And I mean that in the best possible way, that it just sort of like head to paper, and that it just sort of came about naturally.
Yeah, well, the best ones happen quickly. I think that's true. But it's a matter of being patient and listening to what the song needs and what the song wants. So it's totally case by case, but I prefer it when it happens fast.
Totally. That makes perfect sense. So you guys are recording a new album, which is exciting. We've been following the Command S series on YouTube.
Yes, thank you.
If you aren't, check it out. It's really cool. Why'd you guys decide to do that? Why'd you want to do the Command S sort of like little mini documentaries of how the album's being made?
Yeah, okay. Well, so I think accessibility is something that we value, and that's a certain access point that maybe you don't see that often. Which is just like absolutely and transparently inviting the listener into our process. So it's an experiment, sort of, but also we knew that this was going to be fun and something that we'd never tried before, specifically making an album with no other obligations or stresses or whatever, which of course didn't turn out to totally be true. There are always moments of life infringing, impeding, preventing, but that's just being a human, and that's all right. Point is, though, this was something special and untapped for us, and we wanted to, we had the resources. One of our best friends, and actually my housemate, Kenna, is a terrific videographer and documentarian, and we've been excited to have her along for a while with us. Also on tour wherever we've been going, and it's just great to be able to have that.
Of course. Now you guys are recording the album in a house, which I find to be really cool. How did you go about finding the house? Like, what are you looking for? Do you tell the people, like, hey, we're recording an album in here? Or, yeah.
Yes. So definitely we were looking primarily for a place to record, and then secondarily for would this place be comfortable. Thankfully we found both. But this house is special. It's not something that we knew exactly what we wanted off the bat. It was sort of a you know it when you see it type scenario, but this one is special. It has a really tall living room, just a big live room essentially. It would compete well with any dedicated studio. It's got a unique sound. We kind of took a chance on it, but we're really happy with the sounds we've been getting.
An album that I've been really happy with in 2016, of course, was Cardinal. Amazing record.
Thank you.
Filled with so much emotion. What's one or two of the songs that people come up to you with from your catalog from that record that, this meant a lot to me? What's one that sort of keeps coming up?
Something that I've been really surprised and delighted at is that I've had someone with a really personal story about every one of these songs. I think personally, Aphasia might be. I might have hit the nail on the head the best with that one. Sort of, if you haven't heard the song, it traces the trajectory of a relationship from kind of before you meet someone, maybe you're feeling lonely or incomplete somehow, and you're meeting someone that just opens you up and makes you feel terrific and energetic, and but then realizing that that's not something that the person necessarily brought. It's something that you had inside yourself already, and then maybe after the relationship you're left to evaluate, like, am I my full self anyway? Can I just be, do I need another to be whole? And I'm certainly suggesting that you don't, but it's a hard conclusion to come to, especially as someone who's just chronically forlorn. But I'm proud of that one.
That song literally stopped me in my tracks. I was like writing a paper or something, and I heard it, and it was just so incredible.
Thank you.
And then I wanted to like read the lyrics, and I went on to genius.com. It was funny. Their interpretation of it was, this is how difficult it is to write a song, which I listened to, and I was sort of like reading the interpretation. I'll make sure I very much more agree with yours. That's sort of what I got right off the bat too.
Well, but definitely too, I do like to write a lot about writing, and I think that maybe the more the writer can wink at the listener, like, yes, this is part of the process. Yes, this is a particular format that we're choosing, but it's arranged specifically for you. Maybe more the listener trusts the writer, and more the listener is willing to go in whatever bizarre direction the writer wants to take.
Wonderful. And then when you read articles about this band, and there seems to just sort of be like a narrative around it that journalists like to perpetuate, what would you say is the biggest misconception about Pinegrove, or maybe one of the biggest misconceptions about one of the songs?
That's a good question. Let me think about that for a second. Well, it's an honor to me whenever any listener, journalist or otherwise, is approaching it just like without prior conceptions, really, and is just talking about what they hear. I mean, we value introspection and vulnerability, and we want to talk about talk earnestly about the challenges of being a human being, and also how we can kind of band together and become a little better. I don't know. That's the most important thing for me that people listen for, is that opportunities to insert yourself into the narrative and try to live it and try to embody your best self.
Wonderful. And then I'll give you a choice between these two questions.
Okay.
If you could, and you can answer both if you want to. Who would you sit next to on a cross-country flight if you could? And what album would you cover front to back if given the opportunity?
Okay. Well, I've been spending a lot of time with Gillian Welch's music recently. We've played 3 festivals this weekend, and they're kind of stressful environments, but I've listened to the song I Dream a Highway maybe 10 times, maybe 15 times these past 3 days, and it's a 15-minute long song.
Wow.
So I've just really been like having that on loop and circling around and vibing it out. I would love to just have a dinner or a beer with Gillian one day, and that song doesn't appear on the album Hell Among the Yearlings, but that's one of my favorites ever, and I have a friend that we sing some of these songs together, and I've dreamt of doing a more dedicated project to covering the great American songwriter Gillian Welch. Yeah, I'm a big fan, of course.
I would be very much looking forward to that. And then this will be my last question for you, Evan. Who are you listening to, other than, I guess, Gillian, but who?
Lucinda Williams, Green Day. Yeah, I think that rounds it out. Those are the 3 right now.
Well, I couldn't think of a better way to end our festival, wrapping up our Newport folk coverage. Thank you for listening. From Newport to Marshfield, from Marshfield to Montclair, from Montclair to elsewhere, my guest has been Evan from the band Pinegrove.
Thank you
so much. If you're not listening to their album Cardinal, damn it, you should be.
Wow, thank you.